start with you, Jumoke. Tell me a little bit about the journey towards these exchange-traded ETD data that's gone live today.
Thank you, Wilson. We're very, very happy to be here, and thank you for having us. The journey, I think I've been saying this all day today, it's been gone on over 5 to 6 years when we started this journey, when we undertook that we wanted to establish a world-class, world-standard exchange-traded derivatives market in Nigeria. And that journey started with us then trying to find out what then do we need to do to establish a market. And started with we learning from model markets across the world, and then conducting a feasibility study here in Nigeria to find out of all the things and all the building blocks, which do we have and which is missing, so that could guide the work that needed to be done towards achieving that. So we had a feasibility study, fantastic reports, so much stakeholder engagement from regulators to stakeholders across the whole financial markets, seniors in these markets, end users in these markets, that contributed to that feasibility study. And that was what gave rise to what we call the FMDQ Exchange Traded Derivatives Market Project. We ran this as a project because we knew we needed to give it that level of attention, that level of content and support.
It's got to have a life of its own.
Correct, absolutely. So we ran it as a project, and the project has been running ever since, and that is what has led us up till this day, where we've now activated the market with 2 big pioneer products.
Okay, so tell me about the 2 big cutting razors, manner of speaking.
Yes, interesting. So we've started with 2 from the FGN bond futures contracts and the USD NGN FX futures contracts. The FGN bond futures contract, we've now launched 24 contracts across the 2-year to the 30-year tenors. So we've covered the full FGN bond yield curve in the Nigerian financial market. And if you know a little bit about FGN bond futures, that means we've also covered interest rates by having that product. Yes. And then, of course, the big one, the USD NGN FX futures, 12 monthly contracts starting from July 2023 to June 2024.
Interesting about the vital role of FMDQ Clear, Ayodele, in this particular project, because clearing, settlement, and all that are part of setting up a derivatives market. Everybody wants to see how this will clear. Bring that to the table for me.
You can't have a vibrant derivatives market without a central counterparty. And if we look back to the journey for FMDQ Clear, how we have evolved from just carrying out clearing and settlement activities in the market, and then leveraging on the changes within the landscape. I'm talking about the regulations from the SEC, the KAMA bill, the BOFIA revision, and all of those things. That gave birth, made it important or possible for CCPs to come into being. And we have partnered with FMDQX right from start, knowing clearly that if we don't lend that credibility to the market, if we don't help manage the risks in those contracts, we wouldn't find volumes in them. So that's how we are positioned to work with the exchange.
Millions of Nigerians in the market and outside will be looking at what are the benefits of this particular new horizon that you've onboarded as a group and as companies within the FMDQ group itself, and how will it deepen the financial ecosystem for Nigeria?
So if we go back to what the market will typically use the derivatives for, they would use it to manage risk. So imagine you're trying to manage risk and there's some residual risk. You insure your car, you would ensure that the profile of the insurance company is good. So in the eventuality that there's an accident or whatever, your claim is made whole. So it's the same thing. Markets will use, participants would use these derivative contracts to manage risk, but there are residual risks within them, and that's what FMDQ Clear seeks to manage. And it's positioned to manage this based on a number of things. Principally, it's financial resources. Right now, we have north of $20 million in financial resources able to de-risk the Nigerian financial markets. Two is we're leveraging on a lot of experience. I mean, from the outset of the original OTCFX futures contracts till date, we've cleared and settled above $61 billion. So there's significant experience in clearing and settlement. And then we've deployed our technologies across the board. So for us, we're best positioned to support the markets and in unleashing these laudable products that are coming out from exchange.
Boston, let me add to what Ayodele has just said. So two things that, from the exchange perspective, supports what Ayo has just talked about is, one, by having it as an exchange-traded product, you're promoting liquidity because you're having several participants come together to a central place to trade that product, which promotes you having or getting better prices for that your hedge product. Two, transparency. Because it's an exchange, you know who the parties are, they're governed, pricing is transparent. Generally, the rules around it makes it for fair play and orderliness. And I mean, financial markets just loves that. That's what supports your financial market transactions. So add that with the whole risk management underlying it from the central counterparty, it becomes such a very compelling product that the financial market participants can use to hedge risk.
But Jumoke, are there developments within the Nigerian financial market space within the last few years that actually spur you folks on here at the FMDQ to say, look, we're on the right track? We said this is about 5-6 years project, so it's quite taking about 6 years to birth.
One of our mottos and mantras is FMDQ is doggedness. We take on initiatives, and once we believe in it, we don't let anything deter us from achieving the objective. It might take longer, you might detour, but once we believe what the end objective is, we're dogged in getting ourselves there. And that is what has spurred us over the 5-6 years, supporting in when the law was being rewritten, when the regulation was being written, by the regulators, the process of even converting the Central Clearinghouse to a CCP. That is what has spurred us. And it's because we have a passion in FMDQ that the Nigerian financial market has massive potential that has not yet been tapped. It has massive potential for growth and development. It has massive potential to be the financial center of Africa, and that's what we want to achieve.
Interesting. I know a very laudable objective. In terms of the clearing members, what do they bring to the table? How do they fit into the ETD ecosystem now?
I like to say the clearing members are our partners.
Yeah.
The CCP stands good for the transactions to ensure the integrity of the transactions. And because we do not interact with the markets directly, we work through the clearing members. So these are institutions that have been carefully selected without any bias to other institutions. But these are institutions that we've looked at the balance sheet, their ability to take on risk. We've looked at the technologies they have deployed. We've looked at their human capital. And based on that, they have decided to partner with us, put their balance sheets at risk with us in supporting the market. So that's
because
the
you
role.
can let the market down. So the clearing members are very, very key, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because they're part of the ecosystem. You need to depend on them for these transactions that will be coming on both the FGN bond side and on the FX side.
Yeah.
How much bigger will this ETD market make the FMDQ group?
Bigger in what sense?
Several trillion.
No, I don't think it's about the FMDQ group. It's about the market. The market is the focus. Market development is our passion, so the market is the focus. And I mean, with today's products, the sky is our limit now. We believe those products have unleashed the market to be, to be able to grow exponentially with being able to hedge their risk in the market.
And I think it also brings that validation to the market that once it's structured properly, once it meets some certain criteria, you can create derivatives out of it. You can centrally clear them. Yeah. So I think it's a fantastic time for the market because people now begin to learn from this and say, oh, today we start with ETDs in bond futures and FX, but tomorrow you never know what could come up.
That's what I was asking. Okay, what role brings? So she knows what other products she's on board.
Well, I think I have an appetite for absolutely anything, Bosun.
She has appetite for risk.
Absolutely.
If the product, if the underlying product framework, if we have the requirements that meet our underlying product framework,
Bring it up.
and the need is there, absolutely.
Bring it up.
Index futures, diesel futures, commodity futures. We have an appetite for all of it, and the market has an appetite for it. And as the need arises, we'll work with the market.
I like the appetite for oil and gas. Perhaps it's called energy. Am I reading a page from you?
You might have seen something. You might have seen something.
Because there's a whole lot of new horizon.
Yeah.
Because it's such an exchange with so much under your portfolio. You had a green ball, you had all of that. So I'm sure there's a whole lot of products that will be coming through in the next days and months and years ahead. But today is the curtain raiser, and we're just here to say congratulations to all of you